So last but not least, we want to look at making sort of a more realistic 3D viewport of this shape. So this extrude is 12 feet tall, so it's a little bit taller than a one-story house. I want to create a view. Let's make it looking at that corner. And to do that, I'm going to use the camera tool. And the camera tool, it's located here in the visualization tool set, and it looks just like a camera. I find that camera tools work, they're easiest to place from top plan view, so start there. The first click is going to place the camera in the drawing. The second click is going to point the camera in a direction. So I'm going to point it right at that corner. And then it's going to give me all of these options. I'm not going to worry about making any changes here because once again, I can make all those changes after the fact in the object info palette. So click OK. And after you've created your camera, notice over here in the object info palette it says Renderworks camera. You click activate camera and that's going to show you your 3D view. So right now I'm going to change, I'm looking at wireframe, I want to change it to OpenGL. So the keyboard shortcut for that is Control-Shift-G. So now I'm looking at it in OpenGL. And let's see. So if I look over here for camera height, it's telling me that I'm 5 feet tall and that I'm looking straight across. And so that's how you get these more realistic perspectives, is you're able to say, how tall am I and where am I looking at? If you want, there's this option right here, it's called fine-tune camera view. And if you click on that, you have all of these controls. One of them, and you could have controlled this also in the object info palette, but you can control the height. So if you want to look at this from 6 feet tall, you could do that. You can also say, I want to be looking down, or I want to be looking above, looking up to, I guess I should say. So looking down on or up to, you can change that. You can also pan the camera from right to left. And then you can sort of move where the camera is a little bit from right to left. You can make the camera closer to the object, further away from the object. You can also change the focal length. And this is one that you need to be careful of. I would recommend 20, I don't know, actually like 30 millimeters is pretty good. It's a pretty good perspective. Once you start going below that, though, things can get kind of skewed, and it's hard to tell with just this one cube in here. So you might want to play around with this once you have an actual design in 3D set up, but I would say you want to stick around 30 millimeters, and you can go above if you're looking for like some telephoto view of the site, but 30 is a good starting point. And then perspective and focal length, they usually work in tandem with each other. So I typically don't tend to play around with perspective. I'll play around with the other dials. And then you can pick your render mode here, which I'd like it to remain at OpenGL, so you can click OK. So once you've made all of your changes to your camera view, what you do, and let's just change this DPI to 150. So after you've got everything set up the way you'd like it to be, you come over here, it's the same steps. It's view, create viewport, and then this is telling you that your viewport essentially is going to come from the camera, and that's correct. So the camera is now going to become the viewport. I'm going to move this to the base map shoot layer as well. Let's just move this to the side and update it. And there we go. So those are the 3 different ways that you can create the 3D viewports. They all use the same command once you've got things set up. It's the view create viewport. And as you've seen, you can edit your viewport after you've created it. You can edit the crop. or you can go ahead and create a more realistic perspective of your scene by using the camera tool.